Welcome back to the Wilkins Way. I'm your host, Sean Wilkins, and tonight I have two special guests with me. One, a good brother by the name of Justin Garris. This man played professional ball in 5 different countries. He played Division I basketball, a very skilled player and coach/trainer. He's doing a lot of things in the community, and we're going to touch on all that. The second one being Desmond Murdoch, a.k.a. Dez, Coach Dez. This brother has trained professionally with the Detroit Pistons, the Charlotte Hornets, and both of these brothers are back in the state of New Jersey doing some big positive things in the community and with the youth. They both have something going on right now called the MBP, Morris Basketball Program, where they're training kids, developing them, training them in elite skills and things of that nature, running different camps and leagues for the youth. And, that's something I didn't have coming up. So I applaud these two brothers, and it's a blessing to have them on the show tonight. Justin, Dez, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
No problem. Now, we're going to touch on, the MVP and what you guys do. But first, I just want to hop right into sports. I know everyone at home watching wants to hear us talk about the NBA Finals last night. The Golden State Warriors, they took it all in 6 on the Cleveland Cavaliers floor. Me personally, for everyone who watched last week's episode, my first episode, I predicted the Cavs were going to win in 7. So, I'm eating that. A lot of people are letting me wear that right now, but it's all good. The Warriors took it in 6. So both of you, I'll give you guys the floor. Did you guys enjoy watching the series? What were your picks, and did you watch last night?
I watched the game last night. I definitely did agree with your first, premonition about LeBron winning it, Game 7, back in Oakland, only because I got a feeling there's like a little bit of shady stuff going on behind the doors in the NBA, and LeBron being the most popular player versus Stephen Curry, who's the next most popular player in the NBA. I thought that was all whole setup. Again, this is the 3rd year in a row that this is the most viewed finals. So I definitely thought they were going to push it to 7 games and just keep racking that money up.
That's what
So last night when I watched the game, I was happy. Now I applaud Steph Curry and the rest of the team for winning that, because I definitely thought they was going to go to 7 with that one.
Justin, what about you?
Yeah, man. I was riding with the Cavs just like y'all too, man. And
wow, so all 3 of us were wrong.
Yeah. I was just, the injuries suck. There's nothing you can do about the injuries, but Steph Curry, nothing you can do about him either, man.
Steph Curry with the pot, man.
Their whole team, they got so many weapons. There's nothing.
I don't know about y'all too. My whole reasoning for picking the Cavs was I was telling everybody, listen, no one on the Warriors can guard LeBron. I got in my mode talking, and for people who know me, I'm not a huge LeBron fan. I got to give it up to him. What he did, especially in this postseason, he put that team on his back playing with, straight up role players. Dudes that were like Timothy Mozgov. I remember when he was with my Knicks, he couldn't buy playing time.
I didn't even know he was on the Knicks.
the Knicks was his first team. And now, Timothy Mozgov, LeBron's, depending on him to give him 28.
That's their second option.
And it's like J.R. Smith, brother from Jersey. I hate to knock him, but J.R. just gave them absolutely nothing. And it's like, with Kyrie being hurt, with Kevin Love being hurt. I made my prediction before Kyrie got hurt, by the way, for everybody who wants to knock me for my prediction. I couldn't see in the future. I didn't know Kyrie was going to be lost for the whole series, but I just thought it was crazy. I thought LeBron would be able to dominate whatever matchup was on him. But, I guess I was wrong.
I think he did for the most part, though.
What was
his numbers? His numbers was crazy.
The numbers he put up.
He put up crazy numbers. So I think, as a coach, and I'm looking at the situation, and when people are asking me, I'm like, yo, you got to let him get 40, or he go get 40, like he said in his interview.
Yeah.
He went and got 40, but then again, where's his hope? And that's a strategy you have to use in a situation like that. You playing against the best player in the world. Yeah. Let that man do what he got to do. You worry about shutting everybody else down. You shut down Demond Shumpert. You shut down J.R. Smith, Timothy Mozgov, whatever. He had one good game. Who else is on the roster after that?
How do you feel about all that talk about Dellavedova? I thought Dellavedova had 2 good games against Steph, and the media loves stories. Especially writers and journalists, they have to have a story.
And I was just gonna say that because that's all it is nowadays. It's all about the story, what you could write, what you could post,
and
whatever.
We'll push the hell out of the story, man.
Whatever's gonna sell, that's what it's gonna be. So. when he blew up, I was just, oh, here we go, another Jeremy Lin, another situation where
lot
they
of
just gonna
people
take
made that
something
comparison,
and they
Jeremy
gonna
Lin.
run with it. They just gonna run with it. Like, I don't want to knock the dude. At the end of the day, he's an NBA player. He's on a roster. He's probably gonna get a solid contract, his next contract or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, come on, really? He's locking up Steph Curry? Like, come on, like, seriously?
And like you're right, like that was really the narrative. I don't know if you heard, Justin, but the narrative was, I mean, at one point they were calling him the Curry stopper. At that point, I had to turn the TV. Like, come on now, this man just won MVP. Now Dellavedova is the Curry stopper. But that just goes to show you how media will have a story, especially in the finals with football, the Super Bowl. I mean, they specialize. I mean, in the NFL, they have something called Media Week. And they specialize in making up stories for that particular week. So the NBA is no different. They just don't call it that.
Yeah.
But, you know, to piggyback off what Dez said, I'm not knocking Dellavedova, but I do think it was a little bit of overhype. And then I believe that started getting to Dellavedova. If no one said anything, I believe he would have kept playing solid. But as soon as they started blowing him up, Steph Curry dominated him in Game 5 and 6. And then last night, it just seemed like, you know, last night, I mean, I don't even, you know, recall Dellavedova being on the floor. He was that non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, when you do that, you're not just a player anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're a part of everything, like the whole social aspect, everything. So now it's like you have to live up to that. As opposed to where you're a nobody, you're the last guy on the bench, you're the third string point guard, you know, you're scraping for minutes. Now all of a sudden, you're the Curry stopper, and now you have to come in. You got to come in the game. You got to live up to that. Now that shifts the whole mental game. So like when you come in, and now you got to start thinking about, oh man, what I'm gonna do now? He's gonna go left, he's gonna go right. Instead of just going out there just playing, now it's a whole thinking game. Now your whole game is all messed up. So.
I mean, so Justin, you know, question for you from a brother that played professionally. You've seen every defense a coach can draw up and put on the floor,
Yep.
and you've been around great scorers. You're a scorer yourself.
Yep.
So I want your, you know, insight on this. Would you give Dellavedova that much props as to saying, you know, for those 2-3 games he did zone in and kind of stop Curry or at least slow him down, or do you think it was more of an issue of Curry was just off?
I think it was a little bit of a combination of both. I mean, Curry was off, but Dellavedova, he stepped up to the plate. You know, they took him off the bottom of the bench.
Yeah.
Just like Dez said, you know, and there was no pressure at all on him. Nobody knew who he was, no scouting report, no nothing. So he just came in just free willy and just played. And then after having a couple of strong games, being the Curry stopper, then all the pressure's on him. Then you get to see what he's really made of. And I think we just saw what he's really made of.
I have an unpopular opinion on that. I want to get both y'all insight. You know, people know me. Sometimes I'm like a little too much outside the box. But, you know, what I've said to a couple of guys, and, you know, I'm sticking to it, is call me crazy, but I believe that losing Kyrie, not so much love, but losing Kyrie and Dellavedova playing these big minutes helped the Cavs. And here's why. I think with Kyrie, they wouldn't have even won 2 games. I believe they won the 2 games where Dellavedova was slowing Curry down or whatever you want to call it. With Kyrie's not known as the defensive stopper. Delly put all of his energy on the defensive end because he's not an offensive player, first of all. And second of all, that's what was required of him. I mean, we weren't in the Cavaliers team meetings, but from me sitting on the couch watching it like the rest of you, it looked to me like Dellavedova's assignment was shadow Curry to the bathroom if he goes. You know what I'm saying? And we don't need you on the offensive end. If you're open, be ready to catch and shoot. But follow Curry, you know, wherever he goes on the floor, and that's what Dellavedova did. And, you know, you saw LeBron have the big 45-point nights, 42-point nights, or what have you. If Kyrie was on the floor, Kyrie would have wanted to match Curry point for point. You know, Kyrie looks at himself. I don't know if you guys remember when the season started and Kyrie and LeBron were first starting to build their chemistry. You know, they had a couple games that they lost, and the big narrative going around was, how are they going to get this together? Because Kyrie was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to just be, you know, your sidekick to the point where I'm over here just going to pass you the ball and stand in the corner. I was a star on this team before you came back. And Kyrie still wants his 20 shots a night. Now with Dellavedova, you're getting 8 shots a night in hard defense. With Kyrie, I feel like the Cavs would have been trying to, like, play point for point with the Warriors, and that's why they were the best team in the league this year, because they proved that no one in the league can do that with them.
You're 100% right. With Kyrie in the lineup, it would have turned into just a gun show. Everybody shooting.
And that's my opinion. All right, so I'm not so crazy, bro. I have someone else that agrees with that.
But just to piggyback, and I agree with you, but from a coach's standpoint, so you're two guards and J.R. Smith and Lamar Shumpert.
Yeah.
They're playing like crap. You slide Kyrie to the 2, and you put Delly at the 1, and then you keep that defensive matchup, and then Curry has his matchup against Klay Thompson.
But they weren't doing that. They weren't doing that all season, though. The reason Dellavedova wasn't getting playing time is because of Kyrie. I believe with Kyrie being injured is the only reason. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. During the postseason, was Dellavedova playing big minutes? Because if I'm wrong, you know what I mean, I'm wrong.
You might be right, because I honestly don't remember. I ain't followed the Cavaliers until, the finals.
Yeah.
So you might
I don't
be right
remember
about
if Delly
that,
was
so.
playing huge minutes.
But at the same time, that JR was still hitting. I think Shumpert was still playing pretty good up until the finals, and the whole playoffs up until the finals. So it wasn't really no spot for Dellavedova.
Exactly. That's one of my points.
Right.
That's one of my points. Like, I don't think he really cracked into the rotation, big numbers wise, until Kyrie went out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And with Kyrie in, I think Kyrie would have wanted to make it an issue to really go at Steph, because Steph Curry's been solid since he's came into the league, but this season particularly, to shadow back on what Des said when we first started about how LeBron is the face of the franchise, and we all thought it was going to go 7 because that's what the league wanted. Mm-hmm. It seemed to me like the league is trying to push Steph as like the new, face of the franchise. He has like 50 commercials on. I don't care if you're watching like the Cooking Network. You see 50 Steph Curry. You see 50 Chef Curry commercials. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing interviews with his little baby. Don't get it twisted. I know a lot of guys do that. We're trying to act like Steph Curry's the first man to bring his child up to a press conference. I've worked in the league, and I know for a fact how PR managers be in guys' ears. Do this, do that. I'm not accusing the Warriors of doing that with Steph, but I don't know why the media is acting like he's the first person that's brought up. I mean, Tim Duncan brought his kids up, for God's sake, and no one thought that was cute. But they're trying to push Steph Curry as the big family man.
Controversy sells.
Yeah, he comes from a basketball family. Everyone respects his dad, and his brother's struggling to make a team. So I believe the league is pushing Steph right now, because everyone who watched my last show, I didn't think he should have won regular season MVP. But, I can't even say that anymore after the season they had. The man's a champion now. So, that kind of puts things in perspective more. But if you talk about numbers-wise, he didn't have the best season numbers-wise. I believe James Harden did more with less.
James Harden had incredible year. Incredible year.
With Dwight Howard, missing games for a hangnail. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's a toss-up. I could have went either way. Like, I wasn't mad that Curry won it, and I wasn't mad that James Harden didn't win it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Curry has a stacked squad. Like, we all play ball. When you go to the court and you be like, yo, this dude over here got a stacked squad. But the Warriors are a good team. The ninth man on the bench rocks out.
Without question. But you got to understand, at the same time, the NBA is a popularity contest.
Yeah, and that's why he won.
So that was a large part of it. So between the wins, you know what I'm saying, having a good season and all that, and then the popularity, he's become the second popular player on the planet, I feel like, next to LeBron. After that, that's what it boils down to. So then, now James Harden's kind of just left in the dust, because it's like, all right, well, like, y'all, you did good, but you're not Steph Curry. You don't got the baby face.
Yeah.
You're not. I don't know if I can say it, but you're not light skinned. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't got the big beard. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not as marketable.
James Harden with the big beard, Muslim dude, the Sunni, and it's a shame that the NBA would even take all that into consideration, man. I don't care if you got a yarmulke on your head. If you put up a great season, you need to be awarded as so. And everyone kept saying it went to Steph Curry because the Warriors had the best team. Well, I disagree with it being called MVP. They need to change the acronyms of that award. Because most valuable player to me is a guy who did the most with less, and his team would have been nowhere without him. You take Steph Curry off the Warriors, they're a playoff team in my opinion.
Yeah.
You still have Klay
yeah.
Thompson. You still have
No
Draymond
question.
Green, Andre Iguodala. You take James Harden off the Rockets with soft Dwight, who only wants to play half the season. You know what I mean? They're in the lottery right now.
Word.
So that's funny to me, but it's interesting that Dez says that because, you know, it kind of like perfectly segues into our next topic, which I was happy to see for once how the NBA at least is not a popularity contest when it comes to the finals MVP.
Yes.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I think Steph Curry himself was shocked when he found out he wasn't finals MVP. And me personally, I enjoyed that. I'm not a Steph hater. I have nothing against the brother, but I enjoy seeing Iguodala get it over Steph. I mean, what do you guys think are the reasons why Iggy got voted? Because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard this, you know, in sports talk earlier today. Steph Curry didn't get one vote. Iguodala got all the votes, and then the next vote getter was LeBron. So I think, I don't know, like, do you guys view that as disrespect to Steph, or do you feel like Iggy winning it was well deserved?
Well, I mean, I like Iguodala, man. Over the years, I always liked this game, and he's one of the few guys that stuck around for so long.
Yeah.
But like, I remember they said something in the game the other night that he's the only one on the team that had Olympic experience, had I think it was playoff experience, not playoff experience, but something like finals experience, something like
He got playoff experience.
Yeah, but he had the real experience that when it comes down to it, he was the only one that had it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
He was
So-
definitely the wily vet of the team. I mean,
yeah.
you could look at Bogut, but I don't even count Bogut.
Yeah, I don't even look at both
Well,
now.
like, and to answer your question, is like when you look at the first few games, I'm not sure. I guess when they said his signature game, when Steph had his signature game, which is what, game 5 when he went off for 37.
Yeah, when he was hitting step backs all in
Yeah.
Deli's
So how
face,
long
yeah.
it took him 5 games to get to that game,
Yeah.
where Iggy had like 3 or 4 consistent. And once they put him in the starting lineup,
Yeah.
plus him guarding LeBron, he was one of the players who was only scoring over 20 points. You know, Klay wasn't doing nothing. Steph was having.
Yeah.
He was
Clay had a very quiet series, man.
He had like 5 points last night. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and fouled out.
And fouled out. Yeah, more fouls than he had points. In the NBA Finals. That's
in
crazy.
the clinching game.
Word. So
I mean, I know that's not bearing well on his contract negotiation.
well, he already locked in. I think he just got the other contract.
He did
just got a
sign
max.
an extension.
Yeah,
He got max.
I think he got a max like a year or two ago, like last year.
I mean, you
I don't think it was
during
a
the season,
max.
he
I'm gonna have to
deserved
look into that.
It
I don't
was
know if
close.
It was a max.
It was close.
Yeah,
He got-
it was close. For him, it was a max. Yeah, for his
Word.
standards, it was a max. He was on the trading block last year. But that's with Mark Jackson there, so that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But it was a lot going on with Mark Jackson there, and you know, I mean, I applaud Mark for the way he's handled this, even being able to call the finals. Like, this is his team. I remember I was joking with a buddy of mine last night, but I was like, man, they should at least give Mark a ring with no diamonds in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is, he came to Golden State, changed the culture of that organization. I don't want to say he shopped for his groceries, so to speak. He's not the GM, but you know what I mean? He has a say in drafting Klay Thompson, a guy from Washington State that was on no one's radar really.
No.
He has the credit for drafting a Draymond Green, a scrappy guy from Michigan State who never put up stellar numbers in college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? These are Mark Jackson's players. I believe Steve Kerr came and inherited something extraordinary
without
and
question.
took advantage of it.
Without question. What last year they lost in the semis? Was it? Was that last year when they lost in the semis?
I want to say second round, yeah.
So it's like you're already not only a playoff team, but pretty much a title contender. You know what I'm saying? That you inherited a team. Like all you got to do is just do some fine tweaking. That's it. That's like you go buy a new car. You just got to change the oil. And you good money.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You ready to go. Like, that's
You're
it.
right.
So I mean, I don't want to knock Steve Kerr or whatever. At the end of the day, you still got to coach, but that was Mark Jackson.
And on the flip side, you can use that same point you just made as a knock to Mark. Because you can be like, all right, well, y'all saying that it's Mark's team and it's his players. Well, how come he couldn't do it? How come he couldn't bring them to the finals? And, you know, my personal response to that is the last 2 years the Spurs were cooking. Come on now. You know, I believe the Warriors caught the West on an off year this year. And I know it just sounds, from start to finish, it sounds like I'm discrediting Steph and the Warriors. That's not my intent. But I watched the game closely. And that's what it looked like to me. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors took advantage of an off year for the West. The Spurs got beat in the first round, from Chris Paul, a guy who couldn't even close out a 3-1 lead on the Rockets the very next series. So that's how the West literally looked this year. And the Warriors, kudos to Steph and Steve Kerr, Iguodala, and Draymond Green. They came through and they were like, yo, we have no excuses. It is what it is. We playing what's ahead of us, and that's how we rock it.
Yo, I mean, I don't even know, to be honest with you. The West is so crazy. It's like the way the Spurs series went down. Okay, I'm a Chris Paul fan. I'm gonna say that flat out.
Yeah.
So of course, naturally, when that series was going on, I was rooting for Chris Paul, the Clippers, essentially the whole time.
Absolutely.
Then I kind of disappeared. I ain't gonna lie, I disappeared. I didn't talk about Chris Paul for like I didn't talk about it for like the last 2 months.
Hopped off the wagon for a minute.
Nah, I ain't gonna say I hopped off the wagon because I'm a Chris Paul fan at the end of the day. But I don't feel like he was completely to blame for them losing that series, and that might be just me being a fan. I know he's under a lot of scrutiny because he didn't get them. He should have closed the series out. So I know he's under a lot of scrutiny. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's completely his fault. That might just be me being a fan.
Yeah.
But I think the Warriors still had a tough road. Who did they play in the first round? The Pelicans, Anthony Davis. That's a tough matchup for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Then Memphis.
Yeah.
That's, what I'm saying.
And before I even go in on it, I'll let you respond first, Just. But I have a point to make on that because I disagree with you on that. But I'm gonna let you answer that first before I hop in because my reasoning is a little different and controversial. So I'm gonna let you get yours off.
On the West?
Yeah, like the whole West and how the point I was gonna disagree with Dez on is how he said that he doesn't believe it's Chris Paul's fault on them losing that way. I definitely have something to say about that, but I'm gonna let the brother Just go ahead and give his 2 cents. I know you have something to add to that.
I mean, as far as the Clippers, man, they go as far as Chris Paul is gonna let them go, but there's definitely more. It's more weapons on the team than just Chris Paul. It's easy, especially
that's understandable.
In the whole series, it's easy to eventually figure out somebody's game, figure out how to shut them down, at least for 1 or 2 games when it counts. So, somebody else got to step up for that. But in general, man, the whole West, like this year, the whole West just got all shaken up. It didn't go down the same way it's been going down year after year for the last few years.
But if you're the owner of a team, see, sometimes we have to sit in the owner's seat. I know a lot of times as fans we don't do that, but sometimes you have to put on the owner's hat. If I'm paying you max dollars and you're the superstar of the team, you think the owner's sitting in his plush office talking about other guys had to step up. Nah, man, it's your team. You're Chris Paul. You're Mr. Olympia, Mr. State Farm commercials every 5 minutes on TV. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't bring him to LA for peanuts now. He's getting paid like LeBron.
Yeah.
When LeBron was with Miami, Chris Paul's getting paid more than him. I don't mean to be in the man's pockets, but Chris Paul's getting paid like 21, 22 mil a year. And he can't put his foot down on the Rockets' neck being up 3-1. Me personally, that's just completely unacceptable. I'm not cutting Chris Paul any excuses. He gets no pass in my book for me with that. I can see if he played the Warriors, and the Warriors are just a better team than the Clippers. Yeah. And the Warriors gave them all they have, and they rocked out, and the better team won. There can only be one champion. Yeah. So I'm not knocking him, for losing. But when you have a beat-up Rockets team down 3-1, and you let them come back 3 games, and you Chris Paul, you're the general, the floor general, the man of the team. You can't control the tempo of a game on a game 5, 6, or 7 and be like, hold up, we ain't going out like this, and I'm paying you 22 mil?
But he had good numbers, though, the whole time. He had good numbers. So it's not like he wasn't going out there doing his thing. At the end of the day, he's a floor general. He's got to get his other players facilitated in the game or whatever.
Yeah, but if he's the point guard, why is he not getting the most out of Blake? Why is he not getting the most out of a Matt Barnes, a Jamal Crawford?
But who fault is that?
He got to rely on them.
After I pass the ball and you catch the ball and you go into your jump shot, I can't make the jump shot for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this is true.
A player like LeBron, of course, like, not a freak of nature, 6'8", however much he weigh at this point, you can't guard the man. Point blank, period. There's nothing you can do. He's going to post you. He's going to drive by you. He's going to shoot over you, blah, blah, blah. Chris Paul is a 6'3" point guard Like he don't got them type of physical capabilities where he can just take over a game like that. He can only do so much as a point guard. Like, I understand what you're saying.
I definitely give you that point. I'll give you that.
You know what I'm saying? There's only so much you can do. Like, of course, you got to get your team facility going. You got to get the ball up. You got to get Blake going. You got to get Jamal going. You got to get all these other guys shots, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whereas LeBron is like, okay, well, all right, we're losing. All right, let me go post this dude up because at the end of the day, he's not bigger than me. He's not stronger than me. He's not faster than me. I'm going to do whatever I want to this dude. Whereas Chris Paul is like, all right, I still got to try to create something. If I can't create it, then I got to try to create it for it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So they're different players. I'll say that.
Justin, with you playing professional ball before and you having instances where you played for different countries where you were the man on the team, you know, personally, did you ever have any moments, any games, series, what have you, where, you know, you were heavily relied on and if your team didn't pull through, where, you know, you were the one being looked at? Or is it kind of a different culture overseas? For those people watching who might not be too familiar with Euro basketball in South America, things of that nature, you know, are they different than how we view things in America, or is it the same thing? Like, you're the man. If we don't win, it's on you.
No, I'll tell you a little story, man. It's this really, like, honestly, this whole series with LeBron, just reminded me so much of a lot of my experiences overseas.
Yeah, really.
A lot of the teams, you know, it's either like 2 or 3 Americans on each team, and the rest of them are all local players of wherever country you're at, and if a team, the championship team depends on what the caliber of the local players. It doesn't depend on the American. Each American is going to go out and get 20, 30 every game. So when you get in like the playoffs, I remember one time I was in the playoffs and they'll throw a boxing one at you, or they'll just double you straight out of half court. You got to pass the ball to somebody. Somebody got to be able to do something. If you don't have good local players, you got no chance at winning.
So really, if you're in a country that's not known for basketball, you're screwed. Basically, it's what you're saying.
I mean, like, it's like, even if the whole country level of basketball is bad, you just gotta get the cream of the crop of the local players. So if the owner of the team doesn't want to spend the money to get the better, like if you in Colombia, they want to spend the money to get the better Colombian players, and you get the bottom of the barrel guys, it's 10 times harder to win a playoff game than let alone get to the finals, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I really feel for LeBron in that situation.
You feel for his situation this year in the postseason of having no help, basically.
Yeah, and the owners, they don't want to hear it, man. They look at you like, look at your stat line. Oh, you had a triple-double. Why you ain't win? You need 10 more points to win or something like that. I had 35. What you want me to do?
I mean, so Dez, do you think, you know how LeBron's finals record right now is officially, and yes, I'm keeping track, just like everyone else in the world, it's officially 2-4. Now he has 2 championships.
2-6.
No, he's 2-4. He went 6 times.
6 finals.
Won 2, lost 4. He's been to 6 finals.
You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was about to say if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You got it.
So I mean, and I know a lot of people gave him a pass for his first loss when he brought Cleveland. I mean, for God's sake, he brought Booby Gibson to the finals and Ilgauskas and Donnell Marshall. I mean, I know I touched on that in my last episode too. So I know a lot of people gave him a pass. I don't, but a lot of people gave him a pass for that first one. The 2 that he lost in Miami, I don't think anyone gives him a pass. If you're the king and the best player on the planet, to me, that's unacceptable. But, it's interesting talk going on with this one. Do you personally, Des, give LeBron a pass for this season? Because a lot of people, and me included, think he would have won this series if he had a full roster. I mean, let's just, real quick put it in perspective. The Cavs had 3 starters out, not just 3 players. They had 3 starters, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and Varejao.
Yeah,
they had 3 starters out. So do you personally give LeBron a pass for this loss? Finals loss.
I don't know if I would use the word pass.
Okay.
Because I'm not a LeBron fan per se. I'm not a hater, but I'm not a fan. Again, I think the NBA is a popularity contest. I think he gets to the finals because, that's what the NBA wants. And I definitely thought last night that they were gonna push it to 7 because I was looking at some of the stats, mainly the free throws, where they shot double the amount of free throws as the Warriors. I thought that was crazy. I was like, yo, they're definitely gonna try to push this to 7 and then let him win it, you know, back in Golden State or whatever, just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying. But to really mainly answer your question, I don't know, man, because it's like in the press conference after I think Game 5 was it, and he's like, I'm the best player in the world. They're like, what are you gonna do next game?
I remember
I'm the best player in the world, or whatever he said. I don't remember what the premise of the question
that
was.
rubbed a lot
whatever.
of people the wrong way.
I was like, oh, all right, like, like you gonna say that much? Then let's see what happens. At the end of the day, LeBron did his job. I think he still had almost a triple double or whatever it was if he didn't have one in the finals. And can I really be mad at him for what he did? Like, no. How many times did he score 40? You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
how many times did he have a triple double? He almost won MVP on the losing team. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a testament in itself.
Yeah. So like, can you give him a pass? Yes, without question, because he lost 2 All-Stars, 2 starters, 3 starters, and 2 All-Stars. So does the series go a different way with those players on the roster? Maybe even just one of those players on the roster. I think the series goes a different way.
At least 7 games, maybe.
Exactly. So I think you can. Am I personally gonna give it to him?
No,
probably not.
And not to cut you off, but mind you, this is coming from a brother, you know, Dez, who's been in the league as far as like, you know, worked with the Detroit Pistons, you know, inside, so to speak, you know, as a trainer, trained multiple professional players in the league, worked with the Charlotte Hornets, who at the time were the Bobcats when he was there. So, you know, just like, you know, to piggyback off that, you know, when you know you were on the inside on 2 different organizations, how is that atmosphere? Like, you know, you've been in the atmosphere of some bad Pistons teams. You've been in the atmosphere of some bad, you know, Bobcats, which are now the Hornets teams. You know, being on the inside, like, you know, just give the people watching, myself included, some insight. Like, is it kind of like, you know, an aura in the air in the organization? Like, do guys know, like, listen, you know, we stink. Like, this is our star. We know we're not giving him help. Do the owners give him a pass? You know, really my question is, like, with you being on the inside, you've seen that before. Do you think Dan Gilbert is giving LeBron a pass? When you were with the Pistons, with the Hornets, you know, did you see the owner giving his marquee player a pass? Like, listen, I know you don't have any help, man.
I mean, when you said Dan Gilbert, I think Dan Gilbert was probably like, yo, you know what, I don't even care. I got LeBron back. We're back in the finals. I don't
he better
even
not
care.
care. With that racist, you know, off the wall crap he was saying when LeBron first went to Miami.
Word.
He better not have anything negative else to say about LeBron for the rest of his life.
Word. And then with the Bobcats, aka the Hornets, you know, your president is Michael Jordan. So
good point.
Like nothing. Like, losing is just unacceptable, period. It's like, so that culture is kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's, I'm not even sure. Like, it's intimidating because the person you're answering to is considered the greatest basketball player in the world.
6 for 6 in the finals.
Exactly. So it's like, when he's looking at the situation, he's kind of looking at it like, why y'all can't get this right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Michael being Michael, you know what I'm saying? He's looking at it like, yo, this is what I did. Why y'all can't do it?
But doesn't Michael Jordan know his team stinks?
And you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything about that because I mean I'm sure he knows, but at the same time, I don't know if he knows because he's the one who's picking all the players. So it's like
great point.
It's not like he's going out there saying like, let me get this guy, let me get this guy, and then when the team sucks, he's like, well, I don't know what happened over here. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? He's the one picking the players. Like,
yeah, but you know that's a touchy topic too because I don't know if you guys remember in 2011 when the NBA went through its little lockout. That was one of the big things on the table with the owners and players. And surprisingly, I personally was surprised to see Michael Jordan was one of the owners speaking up the most about that. He was like, basically his argument was with the collective bargaining agreement being what it was, you know, it's a disadvantage for the smaller markets. Because he's like, with the Charlotte Hornets, I'm never gonna convince a LeBron to come here. I'm never gonna convince a Kobe to come here. I'm never gonna convince, you know, a Steph Curry when his contract ends to come here. Like, you know, the Hornets, the Bucks, the Utah Jazz, those small market owners, the Memphis Grizzlies, those owners were going hard in those CBA meetings because they're like, well, yeah, you can say we're picking our players and we're shopping for our own groceries, but what do we have to choose from? Their best bet is the draft.
Word.
When you got the Miami Heat, the LA Lakers, the New York Knicks, who are marquee franchises, who are big market cities, who are going to automatically attract free, all-stars. And that was one of Jordan's, things. Like, think about it. When's the last big free agent signing in Charlotte?
Al Jefferson.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I'm saying? But that works for some owners. But I get your point with Jordan. It doesn't, because this is the man that drafted Kwame Brown.
Oh Lord.
Number 1. So MJ gets no pass.
And
That's a
Adam
great
Morrison.
point.
Who was what, number 3?
And I like Morrison coming out of college. He had a big year coming out of college.
He was nice in college.
Yeah.
In college.
And the NBA is a whole different story.
Yeah, Jordan, outstanding player, but as a general manager / owner, he's definitely showed he's human.
Yeah.
He didn't seem human in his playing days, but he definitely showed that he's human.
No, without question.
And it's interesting, even talking about Jordan, I definitely wanted to touch with you brothers about the state of the NBA, the state of basketball, where it's at right now, college included. Like, how do you two personally feel about the state of the NBA? I'll start with you, Justin. As far as we grew up watching the 80s, 90s, mainly the 90s, which was like the golden era. And, you know what I'm saying? We watched the 90s, the golden era with, the Pistons, the Bad Boys in the 80s, the Jordans Bulls in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And the game was just a lot different back then. You know what I mean? The physicality of the game. You were able to check somebody. You see the Pistons knocking guys to the floor, guys getting up, fighting. Nowadays, that's like a 3-week suspension. Back then it was just a foul call. Mm-hmm. So, do you guys think the game's more enjoyable to watch now that the league has tweaked certain things? They're more geared towards showcasing scoring, and and they don't let you touch guys anymore, this touchy-feely NBA we're in now? Or do you prefer, the essence, the golden era when we were coming up?
Oh, I think today is a lot more flashier.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, it's a lot more offense, man. It's a guards league now. Back then it was a whole lot more grittier, and they're playing for a purpose. They're playing as a team, trying to really accomplish something. Nowadays, there's too many individual accolades. Back then, it meant more.
That's a good point, though. You said it's a guard league now. You're absolutely right. I remember back in the day, a big saying was, and y'all know this, you can't win a championship without a big man. In 2015, that's officially over.
Dead,
because a team with no big man that's even worth mentioning on the air just won a championship with guard play and three-pointers. So I think this is like a big change, change of the guard, no pun intended, of the NBA. I mean, it was getting to that, like you said, with guys like, you see Derrick Rose winning MVPs. And, I remember, I think it was 2009, where I think 15 point guards got drafted in the first round. Remember that? Every pick was a point guard. The league is gearing towards point guard. Which personally, your style, your preference, what do you prefer? The old school or the new school?
I like a lot of the players in the new school, but I just like the way they played back then. It was more serious to me. Nowadays it's too much flash almost. So
I believe it's too buddy now.
Yeah.
I miss the days where it's like, I remember I saw a story, I think it was a 30 for 30 or something I was watching, where when Pat Riley was coaching the Knicks, and they were interviewing Patrick Ewing. And Patrick Ewing was like, "Yo, Pat Riley doesn't play that buddy stuff. If you helped another team up off the ground, it was a fine, a fine. A team like Pat Riley wasn't playing. He had a fine waiting for you in your locker. You helped so and so up. Nowadays, these guys, LeBron and Kevin Durant, they're playing flag football together, and these guys are each other's kids, godfathers, and what you do off the court is your business, but on the court, it's just too much buddy. This is my friend. This is my best friend. And I don't know. I like the old school where, you know what I mean, guys were in each other's face. It was all about, like, I'm the head honcho here. I'm the best. You want to come take me off my hill. You want to come take my crown. Come and get it. And now it's like, oh, well, that's my friend, though. Like LeBron running to Miami. I wanted to play with my friends. Like, come on, man. You would have never seen Jordan run to the Lakers because I want to play with Magic.
Yeah.
You would have never seen Isaiah run to the, you know what I mean, to the Houston Rockets because I want to play with my friend Olajuwon. You know, to me, that's the main reason why I like the old school better. I believe it was just a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just, you know, these young kids, you can arguably you can call them soft as far as like the way they approach the game.
Sure.
Back in the day, it was like blood, sweat, and tears, literally. Now a 3-point shooting team is a champion. So I mean, Des, how do you feel about that? Which era do you prefer?
I prefer the '90s, man, because that's the era I grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? And it was like that. It was rough. You know what I'm saying? And an interview that I was watching with Hubie Brown not too long ago when he was just talking about, you know, how they're allowed to check the players and all that type of stuff, and now all that stuff is gone because they want to see more points scored. I want to see some defense being played.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I enjoy watching defensive games.
When I go to the gym and I go for a label, somebody found me or somebody, you know, push me or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's what I want to. I like that. I like that contact. I want to play. Like I want to compete. Like I
Not
don't
for
want this
nothing.
little sissy.
We grew up playing like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what we know.
So
personally.
it's like, yo, exactly. So it's like, yo, I don't want to see this soft, all this flopping. It's terrible, and it's, you know, and it irks me because it's like, yo, just play the game.
And the
Play
fact that
game.
the quote unquote best player on the planet, they said it 26,000 times this series. They're trying to like literally shove that down your throat. LeBron is the best player on the planet. The fact that this guy flops and cries the way he does, I mean, it really, really, really sets me off, man. Like, it just rubs me the wrong way. You can't be the king of basketball and the best player on the planet, and you're flopping. And according to LeBron James, you know, in his 12-year NBA career, he's never committed a foul. Ever. You know, every time LeBron James gets a foul, it's like, come on, man. You never foul, LeBron. And then, you know, I saw multiple times last night and in this series, LeBron James gets a little bit of contact going up, and instead of getting back on defense, he's like eyeing the ref or crying to the ref. It's like, you ain't get the call. Eyeing the ref down is not going to change it. Get back on D.
Spoiled,
play the
man.
game.
That's
That's it.
spoiled.
Just play the game.
And that's what, you know, and the perfect word is spoiled. You know, these AAU brats, you know, people have to remember LeBron was being like coveted as the next greatest thing since sliced bread since he was like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
So you can't tell LeBron nothing about I shouldn't have got that call. According to him, he should get every call. You know what I'm saying? And I loved back in the day where you saw Jordan wouldn't get calls, and that would make him turn up.
Word.
Jordan would just,
Word.
you know, all right, I'm not getting to the free throw line. Well, I'm dunking on everybody.
Word.
Though the game, I remember watching games, you know, in the Garden where Jordan wasn't getting calls, and those were the games where he gave us 50.
Yep.
So how did that work? When LeBron doesn't get called, it seems like he shuts down, and that's just weird to me, man.
That's just the pedigree nowadays, man. Like, this is it being a guard league, and it just being everybody just being soft, and they just want to see more points being scored. And you know, in the same breath, understand that you have to protect your assets because like there's a lot of injuries going on at the same time. So you do have to protect the players.
Of course.
But it's like, yo, we all men here, right?
course.
If you in the league, we all like play. Just play, man. Stop looking for calls. Stop flopping. Just play the game. You ain't get the call. Play harder. Like, yeah, straight up.
Whatever happened to man up? You don't hear that anymore,
No,
man.
not at all. Not at all.
I remember back in the day when they would tell you man up. All that crying was unacceptable back in the day. Man up. And you just don't see that anymore, man. Personally, I appreciate both of you brothers coming on, man, and giving me this time coming on the show tonight. Definitely appreciate that. And I refuse to get out of here without plugging what you guys have going on, because that's the main reason I wanted you on the show. You know, I'm all about spreading love and highlighting young entrepreneurs out here. And in this case, you guys aren't even doing this for, you know, to make money or looking for fame. You guys have been professionals in big spotlights, and you guys are coming back to the community, giving back with the Morris basketball program, helping out the youth, coaching, training, and I applaud what you two brothers are doing, and I want you to, to kind of just have the floor for a minute and let the people know, all the viewers, what it is that the Morris basketball program is about, what you brothers are doing with that.
Basically, what we wanted to do was create a situation where if you wanted to get better, you could do that without having to spend $500 to go to a 3-day camp wherever. Like, that was my situation growing up. I'm pretty sure that was for y'all guys. Like, if you wanted, that was like growing up. It was all about what camp. It was about what camp you went to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So we just wanted to create a situation where it was something right in your backyard, and you can come and go as you please, and you're gonna come that day. You're gonna get better that day. You know what I'm saying? Between everybody on our staff who's got some type of basketball experience, we're either going to show you something or drop some gems on you in some shape or form that's going to help you get better that day. You know what I'm saying? So we're there every week, and we host private and group training throughout the course of the week. And we just wanted something where it was right in our backyard, and you didn't have to wait for the summer or spring. It didn't matter what AAU team you was on. There was no, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just somewhere to come, get better, point blank period, from people who knew and played the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to knock anybody, but there's a lot of trainers out here now. You know what I'm saying? This is the hustle. Like, this is the hustle. People, there's money to be made in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but at the end of the day, anybody could just go into a gym, or anybody could just go on YouTube and look at a drill and go to a gym or go to a park and explain to some kids and tell them this is what you're supposed to do. But, with us, we all got experience, so we're speaking from experience, and we're going to show you how to do it, when to do it, why you're going to do it, etc., etc. So that's why we created the Morris basketball program.
Nice.
Me, Justin, Greg Fahey, who's also the assistant coach at St. Benedict's, has also got a lot of basketball experience. And we just came together, and we were like, yo, let's just put something together where we could just have everybody who's anybody come to the gym, whether you never touched the basketball before, or if you were going to Harvard, or you're going to Connecticut next year, or wherever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're there every Sunday at Del Barton High School at 3:30. We start.
So where's Del Barton High School for the people watching that
New
don't
Jersey.
know?
We're in Morristown, New Jersey. Del Barton High School.
Okay.
Large, beautiful facility. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of space, plenty of baskets.
Plenty of kids too.
We got a whole bunch of kids coming out there, so we'll find a space for you, whether you're a beginner or if, like I said, you're going off to play Division I basketball next year. We've already got 2 Division I commits who've come through our program. I'm not saying that we made them Division I commits, but they believe in our program enough to come get their workout in with us.
Yeah.
So that's what it's really about. They believe in our product that we're putting out there, that they want to come work out with us because it's getting them right, because it's getting where they need to be. If you want to check out any of our workout videos, we are MVP_973 on Instagram.
Nice.
And we also have a website if you guys want to come register, which is www.mvp973.com.
Okay. Now, Justin, is this what age groups do you guys target for the kids? When you say kids, that's so broad. So what age group do you guys target, and is this seasonal, or are you guys doing this year round?
Well, when me and Des got together and along with Greg to put this together, we, our whole point of it was to have something year round for everybody. So every single weekend we in there, just like Des said. Des really covered just about everything. We do have kids. Our youngest age group right now is 7 years old, all the way up to take seniors in high school. But we do have college kids as well.
Nice.
We take.
So I understand you guys do personal, private workouts as well, if people are interested, right?
Nice. Yep. You got to make an appointment with us. We even have some adults that come in our workouts. And some of the parents of the kids like to come in. They play in the older men's league. They just want to keep their swords sharp, so to speak. So. It's a wide, diverse range of kids that we do get, and it's a good thing. Just to piggyback off of what Des said, our whole purpose in the beginning of this, and it still is now, was to provide something with some substance for these kids, because a lot of and definitely not all. There's some of these AAU programs are definitely doing things the right way, but a majority of them are just, you know, you look nowadays, there's more and more AAU teams
It's a
popping
money
up,
grab.
and some of them are strictly for the money.
Big money.
Strictly for the money. Don't develop the kids at all. So
Yeah.
once the kids get to the next level, whether it be college, whether it be high school, whether it be middle school, once they reach the next level and realize that they haven't developed, they're behind everybody else.
And I definitely want to give you two kudos and props, because this isn't just some small thing, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I remember when these two brothers first started, I've been to a couple of their camps, and I firsthand know for a fact that they get it in. They're extremely professional, and you guys started off small, word of mouth, social media, and now, you know, I'm turning around. You guys are in the newspaper. I'm like, hold on. I'm reading the paper, and these guys are highlighted in the sports section of a newspaper. Their program has hit the ground running, has really taken off, and I personally want to applaud you too, because I think it's extremely dope how Justin, a former professional basketball player, Desmond, a former professional player, a former professional trainer who has trained multiple NBA players. You guys are coming back and not looking for a money grab.
Yep.
You guys are both back in New Jersey. Justin, you were overseas. Desmond, you were Detroit, Charlotte. You guys are back in Jersey, where we're from, giving back to the community.
Right.
And I applaud that, because you don't see a lot of that. I'm not knocking anyone who goes for their money. You're about your business. You're going for money. Do that. But these two gentlemen aren't. You know, obviously they get paid. They're professionals, but they're not out here trying to rip anyone's pockets. You guys' prices are extremely reasonable. A lot of parents have, you know, given you guys utmost respect, props, good reviews across the board, and I love what you two are doing. That's why I wanted you to come on the show.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So on Instagram, you can reach them again. That's MBP _ 973. And one more time, the website?
www.mbp973.com.
So that's mbp973.com. You go on the website, parents, you want to sign your kids up, you want to see videos, photos of how they get down, what they do, you want to register your kid, or you want to get in touch with one of the coaches, Desmond or Coach Justin. You guys can do that going through their website and their Instagram. You can also check out, I go on their Instagram often. They have videos of them doing drills. You see Coach Des getting it in with the heavy ball, doing the two-ball drills. You see Coach Justin, you know, out there dunking, showing off. But the kids love it. And, you know, me personally, I've been to a couple of their camps because I wanted to see firsthand. And they're very involved. They're very, you know, it's not just basic. They go in depth to the kids that can handle it, who want to go to that next level. They go in depth, and they're really teaching these kids the skills. We didn't have that coming up. You know, I mean, I didn't, like Coach Des said, you know, back in the day, you wanted to play AAU ball. If you weren't some big superstar, it was $500, $600, $700. So my basketball camp was going to the park. My basketball camp was me and my brother battling in the driveway. That was camp to me. I would have loved to have something like this growing up. I was a basketball junkie. I used to play every day. And something like this in my backyard with two professionals coming home, giving back to me, and I would have been doing cartwheels on the way to camp. I would have loved that, man. So I definitely applaud what you two are doing. And I want to personally thank both of you for coming on the show. This was big, and sky's the limit for y'all programming, for you two individually. And I definitely see big things for MVP. And I'm proud and I'm privileged that a lot of people are going to get their first look at you guys on this show. So I definitely appreciate you brothers for being on.
While we're still on the show, man, we got something for you.
Yeah, man, we wanted to present you with this MVP shirt.
Okay.
So you can represent.
I got gifts, y'all. Hold up.
Honorary MVP
represent us when you in the gym and all that.
I'm getting, you know it's official when your guests are bringing you gifts.
Hey.
Y'all see the MVP shirts. That's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate both of y'all, man. Thanks, Des. Big Just. Appreciate you guys coming on the show. You guys were great, and I'd love to have you guys on again in the future if y'all don't mind, man. Great episode.
I ain't got nothing else to do.
You know what I mean? I love the plug. You guys are doing this thing for the youth, for the kids. I love to plug you guys again. Next time you guys have something going on, you want to promote something, Mi Casa, Su Casa. This y'all's show too, man. I always spread love. On that note, we got to wrap up and get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys for viewing. Check me out on Instagram. My Instagram is Wilkins_away, WILKINS_away. Or you can check me out on Facebook. My name's Sean Wilkins on Facebook. Check these brothers out, MBP_973, the Morris Basketball Program. I'm with Dez, I'm with Justin. It's the Wilkins way. Spread love. Yeah.